So our next slammer, or our first slammer proper, is Yanis Zalias. Yanis is a PhD student in the School of Systems Engineering, and as I said, cybernetics, much better. He's studying human senses with respect to representation of the human body. Yanis's research combines theories from a wide range of fields, including neuroscience, engineering, and philosophy. Outside of his PhD, Yanis is passionate about extreme sports. The two that he enjoys most are rock climbing and everyday cooking for his always hungry housemates and friends, so I'm not sure what he cooks. Yanis's slam is entitled Senses and the Brain, How We Recognise Our Body, and his intro is thus. Our brains are intricate machines that never cease to work and to retrieve signals from the body. These signals are used to create new information, such as the experience of having ownership of our bodies. It is still unknown what mechanisms combine signals in the brain. So how can we study those mechanisms to learn more about how our brains work? Well, this slam will reveal exactly how. So if I can invite Yanis on. Yanis's time will start on Dr. Hilary's bell.
Right, hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you about this. Not a Halloween costume prop, but our real brains. Our real brains are very complicated machines. They have hundreds of billions of neurons and trillions of connections between them. So how do we study them? How do we study something so complicated? Well, we cannot just look at it and realize what it's doing. It's too complicated. It's useless to just look at it. Right? What we actually do is we find a small problem into the brain, a small task, and we try to figure what that is doing. And today, what I want to talk about, what I'm really interested in, is how our senses get combined from our bodies into our brains to create new experiences and new information. And what kind of information and experiences can we get from the combination of our senses? Well, let's see. Well, right. So what's your name?
Alex.
Nice to meet you, Alex. Right, what I'm going to do is I want you to put your hands on the table, please. Just put them on the table. Brilliant. Right, I want to put your phone next here. And I want you, with your right hand, I want you to point which of the two objects is your hand. Well done, thank you. Right, how do you know that this is your hand? Well, first of all, you know that this doesn't look like a hand, it's pretty much a phone case, actually. Thank you very much for the use of that. And so you have the visual information. You also, when Vince had his hand on the table, he could feel the table, but he couldn't feel the table from the phone. And finally, there was a difference in position. His phone was in a different position than his hand was. So that's how all this information gets into his brain, and now he knows that this is his hand, and this is not his hand. Thank you very much. Right, let's see another. Sorry, what's your name?
Kathy.
Kathy. Right. Kathy, I'm going to grab your hand. I'm going to wave to Ben there. Hello, Ben. Ben, I want you to just, if you can wave back at me. Just wave back, please. Yes? Wave. No? Wave back? No? You're not going to wave back? No. Okay. Yes, Alex, sorry. Sorry. So when you were waving, who was moving your hand? I was moving your hand, and Alex, sorry, not Ben. Who was moving your hand? Exactly. So how can we make this distinction? How can we make this sense? That's our senses coming together and telling us the difference between us moving our body and someone else moving our body. Right. So, okay, but this is not something we wake up in the morning and say, oh, this is my hand, I'm going to make a coffee with my hand. It's completely subconscious. So how can we study something that's so subconscious? Well, let's go to us. What's your name? Camille. What we're going to do is we can trick someone to believing that something that is not part of the body is actually part of the body. So I have here a hand, right? This looks like a real hand, and now if you put both of your hands on the table, now if I put this hand next to Camille's hand, right, and I hide her hand, so behind the screen, so she cannot see that. Now what is happening? She can see a real hand, or something that looks like a real hand, and she cannot see her real hand. And they're in a very close position, so she cannot feel the difference between the position. And finally, I can touch those hands at the same time. So all the information come together and she starts thinking that this is her real hand and not the actual hand that she's connected to. And I go with the hammer, go bang! And she completely removes her hand because she feels fear over this object that is not really part of her body. Thank you very much. Right, okay, that's brilliant, but why? Why are we interested in that? Why do we care? Well, there are two reasons. First of all, there are a number of conditions. A number of conditions that are very related to this kind of combination of the senses in our body. For example, we have the alien hand syndrome. So the alien hand syndrome, what happens is that you do not understand that parts of your body, actually, it's you who is controlling them. So for example, if I go shopping, I want to grab something, this is my hand, I know that this is mine, but this suffers from alien hand syndrome. So put something into the basket, go bang out. I don't understand that this is my hand, it has a mind of its own. There are other syndromes as well. The phantom limb pain, people who have been amputated, they still feel pain over the limb that is not there anymore. And it's crazy. And finally, and worst of all, there is somatoparaphrenia, a mouthful of a disease, that the sufferers of such diseases, they don't think that parts of the body belong to them. They want to cut it off, they want to amputate it, it's not theirs. And by studying these kind of things, what we can see is we can try and find treatments and ways to make their lives better and actually battle these diseases. And on the other side, it's about science. I mean, we send rovers to Mars and we have done amazing science, and we know we have explored the entire Earth, but we still don't know how this works. How do we think? We don't know, and that's why it's really exciting. Anyway, thanks to my helpers. You've been absolutely amazing. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Verna. And I'm amazing with names. You've been an absolutely amazing audience. Thank you very much. Have a good night.